So now let's solve quadratic equations. See, now that we have these complex numbers, every quadratic equation is going to have two solutions. So x squared plus 49 equals 0. You could try to complete the square if you want, but really, recall there's another strategy. So there's a strategy for quadratic equations with no linear term. This will be the fastest strategy, I think, in this approach is get the quadratic term on one side and the constant term on the other side. So this is an old strategy, but just want to reintroduce this. So, okay, we need the quadratic on one side, the constant on the other, so subtract 49 on both sides. X squared is equal to negative 49. Now, square root both sides. Don't forget a plus or minus sign on the first line of work that has square rooting on both sides. The left side simplifies to just x. And on the right side, after copying the plus or minus sign, a negative sign that's inside the radical becomes an I that's outside the radical. And then we can also simplify root 49 to just be a 7. And if you want, you could instead switch I times 7 to instead be 7 times I. So you can write x equals plus or minus 7i. Let's do another one. X squared plus 6x plus 20 equals 0. This one, you know what? We do have a 0 on the right side, but the left side doesn't seem to factor all that nicely. So let's complete the square. Subtract 20 on both sides. Based on the linear coefficient of 6, the second stick is 3. And if you square 3, you get 9. So we need to add the number 9 to both sides. OK, so x squared plus 6x plus 9 is equal to negative 11. Factor the left side. X plus 3 quantity squared equals negative 11. Square root both sides. This is the first step in which you write square root signs on both sides needs to have a plus or minus sign. The left side just simplifies to x plus 3. The right side will become plus or minus is copied. The negative sign that was in the radical is now an I that's outside the radical, then root 11. Now we just subtract 3 on both sides, so we have x is equal to negative 3 plus or minus I root 11.